How do you actually deal with athletes and young kids that are lacking self-confidence?
I think the first thing is that people talk about confidence like you either have it or you don't have it. Actually, confidence naturally ebbs and flows. It's like a wavy line, you know, sometimes you have more of it, sometimes you have less of it, and that's absolutely normal.
The girls' locker room.
Hello and welcome to the Girls' Locker Room. I'm Muir, England rugby player.
And I'm Sadia, Kabeya, her teammate and bestie. We spend a lot of time together on and off the pitch, so what's a little bit more time together filming this show?
So this week, it's all about confidence, mindset and motivation.
Look good, feel good, play good. That's something I definitely go by. What is your kind of pre-game rituals that you go through?
I don't have any if I don't do this, I won't be able to play and perform. But I do like doing my eyebrows before a game.
That's your look good,
That
definitely.
is my look good.
And your feel good?
Feel good. I think just not thinking too much about the game, just distracting myself. Love listening to a bit of music, whatever's going on. Do a little dance, have a little boogie.
A little bit of a belly roll.
That's kind of what I do.
I definitely like to make sure my hair looks good before a game. Same as you. After a game, don't really care how it looks. But I feel like I definitely need to look good to feel good and then to play good. But yeah, during the game, don't really care. I mean, I wear a scrum cap, but it's not the most flattering thing in the world. I can't care about what I look like.
I don't know. You look quite good in a scrum cap.
On the pitch, but yeah. So it doesn't really affect me. I think it's time to welcome in our expert, someone we've both worked with. We've gone to a World Cup with them. Our former sports psychologist at the Red Roses.
She also runs her own sports psychology consultancy for both individuals and teams called Think, Believe, Perform. Welcome to our Girls' Locker Room, Helen Davis.
When you just started to work for a new team, where do you start to try and get everyone on the same page?
I mean, it's really difficult because you're coming into an environment that you don't know with people that you don't know, and you've got staff, you've got players. So as a sports psych, my kind of remit, I guess, when I first came into the Red Roses was get to know people, ask questions and listen. And so I spent weeks and weeks doing that. I spoke to everybody, you probably remember individually. I asked lots of questions, I listened, and I kind of, began to build a picture, I guess, of how people were performing in the environment, their strengths, their weaknesses, what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, and just kind of got to know people.
How do you actually deal with athletes and young kids that are lacking self-confidence?
Do you know, I would say it's probably the number one thing that I work on with athletes. It's so common, just as you say. I think the first thing is that people talk about confidence like it's this, you either have it or you don't have it, and it's not really like that. So it's about changing the mindset around confidence, that actually confidence naturally ebbs and flows. You kind of, it's like a wavy line, sometimes you have more of it, sometimes you have less of it, and that's absolutely normal. The way that I work with confidence is trying to help athletes recognise that their confidence comes from a number of different places. It doesn't just come from winning, or it doesn't just come from, making selection. That actually you gain confidence from so many different places, and once you learn what those different places are, it means that you can tap into them when you need them. So for example, I don't know, one of your sources of confidence might be, when I'm on the pitch, I'm playing really, really well. Generally that's going to fuel people's confidence. So what happens when you go on the pitch and you're not playing really well? You're having a shocker of a game, and it's not going well. What you can do then is say, well, I've actually got other sources of confidence that I can tap into right now. I can't tap into the playing well on the pitch. So what are the other things that I know fuel my confidence? So it might be a comment that the coach made in training, that week before. It might be some particular skill that you've been working on that you've done really, really well. It might be, okay, mindset, I can talk to myself in a really positive way now, trust that my form is going to come back. So it's really quite complex confidence, and I think the more you discover, again, I've mentioned it before, haven't I, this kind of how you develop yourself, how you learn about yourself, the more you know about your sources of confidence, the more you've got to tap into. And then when one of them's not working for you, you can tap into others.
So confidence is something that affects us a lot as adults. In the team, I feel like everyone has ups and downs in their confidence levels when they're on the pitch, when they're off the pitch, but we have a good support system around us. When you're younger and you're in school, you're just starting out sport, you don't really have that solid group of people around you to lean on. and you were a teacher, so you have experience with young girls and young athletes coming through. What are the different ways you approach teaching that motivation and confidence compared to adults?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard because in schools, you're required to teach maths and English and all those kind of things. But I think modelling confidence is good. Self-talk and how you talk to yourself and talking about the importance of that. And recognising that actually if you talk to yourself in a way that's not boosting your confidence, it's not going to make you feel great, and it might make you not want to go and do something. So that kind of relationship between sort of thinking, how you think and how it makes you feel. So again, as a teacher and as a sports psychologist, that's something that I would kind of slip in wherever I could really, and model, thinking out loud. And how I would talk to myself. I still have lack of confidence, right? Everybody does, but it's helping yourself in the moment. Helping yourself in the moment when, I don't know, you're under pressure or you've got a test at school and you've got those things. How can you talk to yourself in a way that's effective? How can you talk to yourself in a way that's going to help you walk through the door for that exam or help you run out onto the pitch and think, yes, I can do this? The way that you think is really, really important.
So one of the questions from Instagram we got is actually about goal setting. So this person said, I find it really hard to concentrate and set goals. I make so many goals but never actually achieve them. How can I stay on track and not be distracted?
Yeah, I mean, being realistic with goals is really, really important, because if they're unrealistic, you're never going to achieve them, and actually they're not going to feel great because you're just constantly not achieving them. So I would suggest that maybe that person needs a bit of help and support with choosing some goals that are suitable. They're challenging, but they're also realistic. And having somebody by your side knowing your goals means that you are much more likely to achieve them. So tell people what your goals are, and then they can check in with you, and that will help with the kind of the focus and the concentration. They can say, oh, are you doing what you said you would do? How's that going? Giving you praise and support and encouragement. So I think, ask for some help there, and I think you'll find it's better.
So confidence is another thing that comes into motivation, goal setting, all of the above, basically. And I feel like, especially with women's sports, you have to find a lot of confidence in the way you play and how you want to play, especially when you go to, playing internationally as well. And it's something that I definitely struggled with growing up, coming through school as well. I don't know if you felt the same, but I feel like it's quite a universal thing across young girls coming through the sporting world.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on, Helen. Thank you for answering all of our questions and our queries.
And you've been watching The Girls' Locker Room with Maud
and Sadia. The Girls' Locker